Discerning shootist here for blue collar prepping. Last week I posted a pic, you can probably see it in the video right now. That's my tire. And it's like, I was running some errands, just a normal day. It wasn't a zombie apocalypse or an EMP or anything like that, but what turned into, should have been a 3-hour day, became almost a 9-hour day. And it's all of a comedy of errors. We get used to being complacent in our life and, oh, it's not a big deal, one more mile, one more this, one more that. It's a little windy here, you can probably see the leaves coming in there. That we really don't think of the consequences and we depend upon others. And it was fine. No big deal, nobody got upset, it was just a long day. But you go about this prepping every day and you think you have everything covered. I mean, I had a tire plug, I had fix-a-flat. Of course, I didn't have a spare that I could depend upon at the time. And so I didn't have a spare. And fix-a-flat's not gonna fix that. Well, how the hell does that happen? You can see the pieces, parts here in the rubble. Well, how the hell that happens is that you use a tire that was new standard equipment when this car was built in 1999. Tread looked awesome, but it was almost 30 years old, and therefore it's not gonna work. And you can alleviate that. You should always check the dates on your tires, which will be a little oblong thing, and it'll be a 4-digit date. It'll be the month and the year. Unfortunately, this tire is so old, it doesn't have that. So I could tell you to check the date on it, but that's not what's on this tire. So if it doesn't have a date on it somewhere, don't use it. And that's what this was about. Funny story about this, I just redid the front end on this car, or inspected the calipers and the rotors, and I'm like, this car's gonna get put off to the side, be sold for not much money. So I didn't want to put a lot of money into it because I do have a replacement car that I was getting plates on that day. That's when this happened. And so I thought that some of the front end shake was actually due to some of the brakes going bad. And the calipers, the warped calipers, and it turns out it wasn't. It was an old tire and the tread was separated. So there's two things wrong. One, I wasn't prepared for a blowout of this nature. The other thing is I didn't do preventative maintenance, check the tire, ask a knowledgeable folk, say, hey, this is what the front end's doing. I thought it was this, but let's double check to make sure. And then in all that hilarity, when I went to I got my new vehicle, plates on, and came over and took care of all this, and it had been sitting for a while, and the battery was dead. So instead of taking jumper cables with me, I turned the vehicle off, and guess what? Then I had to have somebody jump me, and people don't carry jumper cables like they do. Fortunately, I went to a dollar store. That's not the name of the store. And I bought these $6 cables. And it's like, sure, they look pretty thick and blah, 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 and they work, except this really isn't copper. It's probably aluminum or some other trash metal. And they barely made enough contact or transferred enough electricity or current where I could charge my battery to make a jump. I mean, it works like a trickle charger. As a matter of fact, I have a trickle charger that actually I could jump my car with. That one doesn't work, and they're old. So $7 later, another mistake, because I have a very nice set. They were in this one or now in my new one. So just to learn from my mistakes kind of thing, I'm a big fan of teaching that way. Just an everyday thing, we get complacent, we get lazy. We try to do things on the cheap, or we don't pay attention to like new old stock, if you will. And when we don't pay attention to those details, then our 3-hour day becomes an 8-hour day. You know what they say, the devil's in the details. So spend the extra minute, do a little research, make sure you have your proper equipment, and that ain't it. So if you got some dollar store, or one of those inexpensive made in China places, jumper cables, yeah, why don't you try them out? Or better yet, just throw them away or scrap them and go to an auto parts store and buy some actual decent ones. Tires, carry a spare, besides the fix-a-flat and the plugs. Carry a jack that fits your car. That was the other thing that I forgot to mention. I did not have a scissor jack in here because the car's so damn tall. It doesn't really affect. So I do have a 2.5-ton jack that's a big heavy beast that takes care of it quite nicely. But here, maybe for the next video or the video after that, we'll do a little list of show you what I'm talking about as replacement parts and a quick little trip to Harbor Freight. Some of it's made in China for sure, but some of it will work just fine, at least for the one time I might need it. As we talked about, my 12-volt air pump from a year or two ago. It's like the first time I needed it to work, it worked, and it was worth a $12 or $19 investment. So, as always, discerning shootist here at Blue Collar Prepping. Be good, be safe. You can't be safe, be good and dangerous.